That kind of brightens it up. I need like a light. There's my husband pulling in. Here we are. Let me adjust this here. This dress is fun. It makes me think of being a meteorologist. I'm not, but like the different colors on the map are all here. I'm going to show Halen. She's going to love it, I hope. Hi. So how are we doing today? A couple of things. Usually I'm a bit more polished before popping on. That looks acceptable. I love not to drop any name brands. I mean, I guess if Kylie Jenner wants to be my friend, it's cool. I've been using, this is my one splurge. Hey, honey, my one splurge of makeup. Kylie Jenner's, I don't even know what these are. Her matte lipsticks, liquid lipsticks. They last pretty long for me. I know there are other brands out there. Let me know. But more importantly, on the news lately, good news, an update to a story I shared with you online, a bunch of different places on social and videos and everything. The woman at the center of that alleged abduction case from North Wichita, turns out she was in a domestic violence situation. That's not the good news. The good news, though, is that she was located, she was found, police have been talking with her, working with her on the case. So scary to think about, but documented in that video of someone's, camera outside their home, their doorbell camera, and this woman being found. So, I just think it's so good to talk about it. I hope to talk about it in more videos. I stayed up real late last night, taking an interview that I had done just about, maybe less than 2 weeks ago, about a week or so ago, with the Wichita Family Crisis Center about this issue in our community. We have a real issue with domestic violence right now, and the demand for the shelter is so high. I'd love to get numbers from Wichita Police. I'll put a request in. I wonder if there's an advocacy for the state of Kansas on the same front. I'll have to see. Sometimes those numbers are harder to pull because they're just going to pull data from this past year. Will be the easiest thing they can pull, but we'll see what they can grab for me. You never know. But a real issue. The demand is so high. It's like a 160% increase in terms of the need with their shelter here in town. So, that just gives you an indication of where we are right now. We've seen a lot of really scary situations with DV lately. And, first and foremost, if you're in that situation, I hope you find help. I know that people who've survived it say it's really hard to get, or it's challenging for family members who have loved ones who've been through it. They know how challenging it is to navigate. It's not an easy thing, but I want to make sure if you look at the description of this post, I have the information as to contacts. And also I'm going to put it here on the screen too, of where you can call to get assistance. So if you're in need of help, you need guidance on what to do if you have a loved one or a friend or whomever who's going through it, a coworker, it's okay to speak up or find ways to speak silently, I guess, to go and navigate them through this. But no one should have to go through that. And so I just want that to be a conversation that we have today. So an important conversation. I'm so glad that woman was found because we were just so worried. And there were a lot of tips that I had, and I channeled them to police, but they found the woman. I believe she's like in her 30s, and they say, yes, she was in a domestic violence relationship or incident. I guess you should say a relationship. That's not really a relationship. That's poorly worded. I'm sorry. They did make an arrest with the man at the center of that video. And I know our team here at 12 News is working on, moving forward with that information in the topic. So I put together an interview that I had with Amanda Meyers from the Wichita Family Crisis Center. It's a long interview, but I think it's really good to hear, to share. And so I'll make sure that you see a link to that or see the post on my social pages. I post frequently on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as my YouTube page. I do post to X occasionally and other places like LinkedIn, but I want this conversation to be out there. So I don't care how uncomfortable it is or how just strange it seems or whatever, but I think it's really compelling to hear from Amanda. She's such a passionate advocate. She's been at the heart as the executive director of Wichita Family Crisis Center for so long. And I even talked about it in the interview. I'm like, my thing is, I've talked to her time after time, year after year. Seriously, like probably every year since I've been here in town. And I'm like, every time I ask her about stuff, but I'm like, I don't know if I've ever asked her, like, does it ever get better? Like, every time I visited her, have the numbers really, are we really at this place? And we talk about how bad it is, but does it ever improve? And she chimes in on that. I think she's a a really, really wonderful person to have in your corner. She makes you feel loved, and I think that they do such good work there, among so many other places for people who've survived or who are navigating this scary situation. And domestic violence isn't just physical violence. It's emotional. It's a number of things. And getting people out of that situation, as Amanda describes, so complicated. You have to have affordable housing. You have to have mental health support and other support, things for the children, the families involved. There's so many layers to it. And so I think you'll really appreciate that conversation that we have, because it's honest. It's sometimes a bit uncomfortable, but dang it, I don't care. And I just want people to know that there's help out there for them. So anyway, long-winded discussion here, but so important. But the woman was found. Yay. Not in a good situation, but at least we found her. And hopefully, I'm hoping that police are working with her to get her resources that she needs, because that's a long journey for anyone in any situation like that. So scary. But I'm glad the community saw it in some sense, because we realized that, yes, that it does exist. We don't talk about it enough. It's often in the shadows. Not to make that woman an example, a martyr, or anything like that, but I appreciate that, and I hope we can all be mindful about our commentary about it as well. I know some comments were made online. They're pretty tough. So, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate your time, you guys. Have a great day. But again, if you need help, make sure that you take a look at the information here. I want you to get it. Okay? It's there. It does exist, and I hope it does help you out.